Welcome. Today, I am back for more Drop Your Money Story and Fund the Life of Your Dreams. We have broken this down into 5 key words and 5 key steps that you first learn one at a time, and then you learn to be able to do them over and over and over again. Today's word is believe. Today's word is believe. I have something going on my phone over there on Instagram, and it was distracting me for a moment. Hello, we are back. Okay, here we go. Day 4, drop your money story and fund the life of your dreams. And today's word and today's process is believe. And this is such an important one. The 5 steps that I'm teaching you in the 5 days are discover, shift, act, believe, and create. And today is believe. To kind of recap over the past few days, when we started out, we were just starting to discover what's getting in the way. What are these money stories? What are these limiting beliefs? What are these core issues? What is this that is getting in the way? Then we started learning how to shift it, how to energetically shift it, how to mentally shift it, how to emotionally shift it, and how to move it. Then we learned, once we're moving the mental and emotional clutter out of the way, how do we take aligned, inspired action? Because it is once you impress yourself onto the energy of the field, everything you desire is already available to you in the field. But you've got to hold an energy and impress that energy on the field until it turns into form. And that's why a big part I'm going to talk to you about today is about not just shifting your beliefs and taking new action, but holding those beliefs and continuing to hold those beliefs. With these beliefs, I've been telling you every day, this is something that Wayne Dyer said and taught me. And once I got it, I really had to work it around in my mind and get it. And now I see how brilliant and how key and true it is. When a lot of people are saying, I'll believe that when I see it, the universal principle is, I will see that when I believe it. And this is true. And this is, again, where I'm going to talk to you a lot today about holding your energy, because it can come in and out and in and out, and that's going to give you wonky results. All that starting and stopping, it's going to give you wonky results. And so you've got to not just learn how to make these discoveries and these shifts and start taking action from that new place energetically, but then you've got to hold that energy. And that's why this also becomes a way of living and a way of being. You will see it when you believe it. You're going to learn to work with these limiting beliefs and catch them and stop them. My clients and students ask me all the time, great, now that I see what's playing out, I'm starting to learn to see it, and oh, there it is again. And now I brought some money in, and then here's what happened. How do I stop this? And I talked to you about that last week on day 3. And that is, you have to become impeccable with your energy. You cannot afford the luxury of a negative thought. You cannot afford the luxury of a negative thought, especially one that you get into amplified emotion and telling these stories. Your brain, this is a brain science part of it. Study some Dr. Joe Dispenza, especially. I've been really studying his work last year and this year. Your brain chemically actually gets addicted to all of this, and you keep running it and running it and running it. So you're having to build new beliefs, and the beliefs you have now have been built your entire life up until this moment. You may have had some different shifts here and there, changing your beliefs, changing some things, and at the same time, those beliefs are there, and some of them are conscious and some are unconscious. So you may have had different shifts in different areas of your life during your life, and yet there's a lot there to uncover. I'm also going to talk to you about, you have just a few core issues, and these core issues will always be there with you. You'll have one or two core issues. So they no longer barrage me on a daily basis. They don't get the better of me very often. I can see them coming from a mile away, and I can stop my engagement there now that I don't let my brain get back into those addictions. But they can still catch me. It may be once every few years, once a decade, especially when you get into stress, and even positive things you're going through can create stress. You can default to where you might even suddenly be going, what in the world am I doing? Why did I do that? You've got to catch them and stop them and become impeccable with your energy. If you all have not read the book, The Four Agreements, I have had it for years. I refer back to it a lot. Whenever I am leading communities, I send people to it, because the four agreements are a great way to really understand how to be impeccable with your energy and how to be in your life as you, and not let all these other things derail you, paralyze you, freeze you, keep you stuck. Another good one is Untethered Soul, because he talks in Untethered Soul all about you are not your mind. You are not your mind. Your mind was meant to be a servant, not the master. Albert Einstein has a quote about this. Sonia Choquette, who is a spiritual teacher and a psychic medium, she says, hold on, people are telling me they cannot hear my Instagram. If I can't fix it, I'll just keep going, because they're saying they can't hear anything. And so now people on Instagram are seeing me touch this, and I'm not sure. Okay, so we will see. They were saying they can't hear anything. Luckily, I have this recorded, and it's also on Facebook Live. Thank you for joining me. We have these little technical blips, and we just keep going. Oh, now they can. Okay, great. Something happened with my phone, and the microphone was blipping. Anyway, back to this. Believe. We're on day 4. Believe of Drop Your Money Story and Fund the Life of Your Dreams. And we're working with these limiting beliefs. Before you even have language, you have energy, and you energetically, you're wired to survive. Even in your mother's womb, you're picking up things energetically. And it's fascinating if you're ever able to do any work under hypnotherapy and go back to that time. I have done that. And as a baby, You are learning from the moment you show up here on earth how to survive. And because of that, you're picking up cues. And one of those is how the people that are raising you talk about money, feel about money. You picked up very many nonverbal, energetic patterns and beliefs. And by the age of 7, you have been forming all of this. If you look at the way the brain works and the brain develops, you can go really deep into this and find out more about what I'm telling you. Just know that I was a therapist, for those of you that don't know, for years before I got rid of my license to become a coach and do the intuitive and energy healing and coaching work that I do now. And I've had this business for 15 years. Both in this work and as a therapist, we always took core issues all the way back to before the age of 7. This is wired into you, and you picked up all this information in order to survive. But then when it no longer served you, even the other family in your life, the other people in your life may have shifted until you become conscious of it and you discover it and shift it and take new actions and build new beliefs. It can be running the show or driving your bus. Back to Untethered Soul. He talks about you are not your mind. There is a technique of learning to become the observer and watch what's happening while not continuing to be triggered by it, so you can unravel it and you can uncover it. It's when we are triggered emotionally, our amplified emotions go out into the field and create everything. So this house of cards gets built. And over time, you may identify one or two, and you're kind of flicking those cards and they fall off the house of cards. But unless you can go to that very base level and wipe out those cards that are holding the whole house of cards, you'll just keep building new cards on top because they're an energetic match. You've got to take that energy out of your auric field, out of your system, and stop being triggered by it and stop amplifying it. For those of you, real quick, that are just catching this for the first time, you can go to my podcast, Working for Spirit, podcast.com, and you can find day 1, 2, and 3. They're also all on Instagram and on Facebook. So you can catch all of this. We did day 1, discover, day 2, shift, day 3, act, and now we're on day 4, believe, and tomorrow we'll be doing day 5, becoming a conscious creator and co-creating with the universe. And beliefs is such a key part of this. You've got to catch them and stop them, become impeccable with your energy. A lot of us overanalyze, we get that analysis paralysis. We're all in, and then we take one foot out and we're second guessing and we're self-doubting, and that really messes up your dance with the universe. And I'm going to talk to you more about that. These are like muscles that have to be built, muscles that have to be strengthened. So at first it's going to feel really challenging. I used the analogy the other day of learning to drive a car, and then it becomes more automatic. You can create some short time, some quick, some great results, especially when you first get in your energy field and you start discovering and shifting and acting, and you're going, this really works. And at the same time, I urge and encourage you to stay with it and go deeper with it, so that you can get in a flow where the universe is always supporting you and you're always creating everything you want, need, and desire. That is true freedom. This is about flipping the script and realizing you are co-creating with source and spirit. The other thing that can happen is you get in there, you go, okay, Michelle, I'm going to try this out. You discover, you shift, you act, you go around of it, you build a new belief, and then you can't hold the energy and hold the belief. So you get a benefit, and then it either goes away or it turns around on its heel, or you can't do it again. That's because you want to go deeper. Everything you want, need, and desire is already out there in the field. Your energy, through your intentions and your amplified emotion, impresses on the field and brings things into form. So you've got to press, 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 keep pressing no matter what until it shows up. And you can't make up stories and backstep. I always tell you, make a decision and then support yourself 100%. No self-doubting, no second guessing. It creates wobble in the field. These money stories, I want this, but, creates wobble in the field, and wobble in the field creates wobble in your results. I told you on one of the earlier days, that now whenever I'm creating anything, I ask the powerful question. I am creating a $50,000 cash month. Where is the wobble? Now, I've also learned that when I'm asking to see things that I haven't seen, I always say, I want my lessons with grace and ease. I don't need any hard lessons. I've learned the hard lessons, and sometimes they're still going to come because I'm bumping up against them and my resistance is so high. But I always ask Spirit with grace and ease, and that is a tool you can use as well. Where is the wobble? Help me clear the wobble. Show me the wobble with grace and ease. So I'm looking for it. I tell my mind, I give my mind a job. I'm looking for the wobble. As you're moving forward, you want to keep doing this work. Again, it's not one and done. This is another reason why affirmations don't work on their own. They're powerful. I'm a big Louise Hay fan. She really revolutionized it. A lot of other spiritual teachers have picked them up. But then you would see people, I write 100 times every day. I am this, that, and the other in my notebook, and it's not happening. And it's not happening for me. And then they're wide open to start creating stories. It never happens for me. It's a scam. It doesn't work for me. Those other people must be liars. I never get a break. And remember, it's universal principle. Whatever you say is. And so what you tell the universe is, then is. The universe does not respond to your words. The universe does not respond to what you're saying. The universe responds to the feelings you are emitting into the field. This is a big difference. This is a big difference. So you're moving forward out of this being stuck. You're building momentum. You're taking inspired and aligned action, which I talked about on day 3. Remember, you can get all the other days of this on my podcast, workingforspiritpodcast.com. And by the end of the day today, you'll get this one if you're not here for the whole thing, and tomorrow, day 5. We talked on day 3 about you're clearing the mental and emotional clutter, and you're receiving the inspiration. And the faster you will take the aligned, inspired action, the faster and easier it can all come to you. We're the ones who get into our way. One of the things I always do, and I have my clients and students do, is whenever you have high desire, tune in and see. A lot of times where we have high desire and we don't have it yet, we have high resistance. And the resistance and the mental and emotional clutter and what you're telling the universe is that's not serving you is where you want to pay attention. We are always either creating consciously or unconsciously what we want and what we don't want. I tell the story a few decades ago when I first started learning this, and this is why I don't want you to fall out and get discouraged and disappointed with it. I got good at creating a lot of what I wanted, but I wasn't working with all the subtle energies and the universal laws and principles and living within that framework. And I didn't understand it. And I was creating a lot of what I didn't want, because boy, was I telling those stories with amplified emotions, and that was getting emitted out into the field. You hear all the time, all of this beyond amplified emotion. You hear all this all the time about high frequency, staying in high frequency. And this means learning to live in a way, learn what raises your frequency, learn what raises your vibration, and continuing to learn how to live in this high frequency all the time, more of the time, most of the time, and then all of the time. And then it becomes easy, like skating on glass, because you stay in that high frequency. And when I get in those periods of flow, I have learned to ride that wave. I say to my friends, I am in the field. And they say, yes, you are. And the desires are just coming and coming and coming. I've cleared the wobble. I'm keeping my frequency high. I'm watching my stories. I cannot, in those moments especially, afford the luxury of a negative thought, which is going to become a negative feeling, which is going to become negative actions or no action, which is going to become results and creating what I don't want. Now I've gotten so good at this, when I create what I don't want, I can go back and find out why and go, okay, not doing that again. You learn to read the feedback. There's feedback in the universe. There is feedback in your environment coming back to you all the time. And this is one of the biggest things I do for my clients as I'm teaching them to do it for themselves. I can read the feedback and I can identify the patterns. I'm intuitive and I'm an energy worker, and I understand, even from my therapist background and my work with the brain and the body, these patterns and this feedback. So I was talking to you about, you've got to learn not just to do this, but to hold the energy of those new beliefs. That is key. That is when your body and your mind are going to want to kick up with all your oldest stories, and it will take you down. Your mind is not a bad guy. Your mind is built to keep you safe, so you can keep living in this body on the planet. But we've lost a lot of times the connection with source and spirit part of it. So we stay stuck in this tiger in the bushes, fight or flight, and we've learned to live in that. And that's not what it's for. It's meant for the moment. If there's a real fear and you are in danger of no longer being able to stay in this body, and we burn out our adrenals and we run, and then we get addicted to that because our brain and body think that's what saved us, and we get stuck in places that are familiar and comfortable but no longer serve us. One of my mindset mentors, who's a great money mindset mentor that I studied with and worked with for quite a few years, told it to me like this, and now I've seen it and I really get it over time. It was a big aha and insight for me. Your brain has identified the patterns and circumstances and environments that it already knows how to survive. And when you are not in control and you're letting your mind run the show, your mind will keep putting you back into those circumstances, situations, and environments because you already know how to survive them. If you've ever found yourself, how did I get back here? This is crazy. I don't want this. That's why. And by the way, letting your mind run your business or your life is like letting a 5-year-old run your business or your life, and sometimes a 2-year-old, because your mind will kick up the biggest hissy fit and throw a temper tantrum when you're moving out of what's comfortable and familiar, when it no longer serves you, and moving into the unknown. But guess what? Everything you want, need, and desire is on the other side of that. Every person you've ever heard who's successful that says everything you want is on the other side of your comfort zone, they're not lying. It's true. We set these powerful intentions, or I hope you do. I have learned to set powerful intentions and make a very clear ask to the universe. And then I take aligned action with what opportunities and what feedback shows up. Now, here's where you can start working with those limiting beliefs. That little voice that comes in here, comes in here, comes in behind, comes in here, constricting, comes in, hurts your stomach. What's it saying? Those are the limiting beliefs. When you can figure out what they're saying, you can work with them and change them. Remember, I told you to say, is this true? Is this true right now? We don't want to create from the past, and we don't want a future trip potential problems that may or may not ever happen. And the majority of them don't, unless you insist on it and you tell the universe what is, and whatever you say is, and then you create them. What a powerful creator you are. You've got to learn to hold this energy and not allow yourself to make up stories about the evidence. You've got to learn to stay in it and not stop. One of the biggest things I see, especially when people want to be entrepreneurs and create these businesses, because I help people create profitable, sustainable businesses and monetize their gifts, their skills, their abilities, what they love, their life's calling. And it's that start and stop energy. They make a decision, they take some aligned action, they get in, then they let that little voice come in on their shoulder, and then they let it take over, and then they fall out, and then they're 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Second guessing, self-doubting. You've got to stop that stop and start energy. You will get wonky results and you will create a lot of wobble. This is back to that being impeccable with your energy. You've got to act from the new belief. You've got to anchor them in. You've got to act. You've got to believe. Remember, I pointed out to you on day 3, notice act comes before belief. A lot of times when I'm taking an action and I'm acting inspired and aligned action, I don't fully have the belief yet, but I'm stepping out in it because I trust this and I know it works. You've got to start creating new, empowering money stories. powerful money stories that you believe, and then you will see. All of this about unraveling this house of cards in all areas of your life. Here's another thing. I talked about it the other day, but I'm bringing it up again. And that is, people will come to me and they'll say, I don't even know where to start. I have so many issues. You're not even going to be able to help me with all of them. I don't think. I don't even know where to start. And I say, because I'm a systemic thinker and I'm intuitive and I work with energy. I read energy, I manage energy, I move energy. I take all of them and they're all one core issue that you're playing out in every area of your life. You're calling it in here and you're calling it in here and you're calling it in here and here and here and here to clear, heal, and resolve, because it's in the way of what you want, need, and desire. I want to read something to you now. I'm going to tell you about it, but I want you to know, because you'll notice I'm reading this. It's from my core issue transformation work. And I want you just to really listen and let this land. This is about when you can become aware and consciously creating. You came into this world as you, with a clear soul purpose that, when lived, promises to bring you an abundant life. You came into the collection of people, environments, and circumstances that created overlays and things that appear to be you, but they really are not. You are such an amazing being. Before you could even speak or understand language, you have the ability to learn from the energies around you, both through what was being said and what was not being said. By the age of 7, you had accumulated systems of limiting beliefs that became your core issues. You bought these limiting beliefs, you bought these programs and allowed them to be installed. And as time went on, you aligned with these beliefs, which then affected your thoughts, feelings, and actions. And that affected everything in your world. You walk around with this self-created trash made up of all the things you've chosen to pick up and hold on to along the way. Because of this, you experience pain, sadness, resentment, regret, loneliness, anger, fear, doubt, worry, hopelessness, and despair. You came to conclusions, and so those conclusions played out in your life over and over again. This strengthened their hold on you because you see what you believe. Now, here you are with these callings, these deep stirrings, gentle nudges, whispers, intuitive urgings, and sometimes traumatic awakenings. You're being called to clear a path to your soul. When you bring the self into alignment with the soul, it creates congruent energy. It allows the soul to show up, to speak to you, and to soar. Everything changes. When you feel like you're spinning your wheels, when you keep falling back into patterns that no longer serve you, when you have dreams and desires that are calling to you and you don't see a way to connect with them and make them a reality. It's the perfect time to clear a path to your soul, to dig through this self-created trash, clear the mental and emotional clutter, and rediscover the treasure that awaits you. There are 5 core issues, basically. All limiting beliefs stem from them. Imagine a house of cards that builds layer upon layer on itself. Shift one card and the whole thing comes crashing down. So once you're aware of these 5 core issues, and you can start catching them in your own life, catch them, stop them, catch them, stop them. Eventually you can catch them a mile away, and they no longer derail you and take you out. Every one of them is going to have limiting beliefs like a house of cards connected to them. Core issue, limiting beliefs, house of cards, your life that you are creating from until you choose not to anymore. When you get to the core issue and you reframe it and you change it, everything changes. It collapses, because if this isn't true, then this isn't true. This isn't true. All these things I've made up aren't true. Now, what is true? This is all about you today, right now, releasing what is finite, limiting beliefs, traumas, and imprints, and receiving what is truth. An infinite awareness of yourself and your soul. All that is great that you carry inside of you, along with the things you truly desire. Somewhere along the way, you concluded one or more of these 5 core issues was true. I am not enough. But you see, you are enough. You can't be anything but enough. When you remove those overlays, you are more than enough. You are all of you. You came here perfect, whole, and complete, made in the spirit, made in the image of spirit. However, we have made spirit, and we understand spirit in the image of our own making, which is flawed. Another one, I am not valuable. Yet you are so, so valuable. You came here with a purpose, a life purpose, and carrying your soul purpose across time and space to be here now. You came here with a purpose. You are fully equipped to fulfill it, or you wouldn't be here, and you're still here. Another one, I am not able. Some of you were told that growing up by parents, by teachers, by other people in your family. I am not able. It made you believe you can't do it. So then you became not able in your own mind. And then you attracted the circumstances, experience, people, and environments that would support that, because whatever you say is. I can't tell you that one enough. You are able. You came here and created a belief. Another one, I am not safe without the tribe. This one is fair. I've talked about this one because this is built into us. We had to stay in the tribe to survive. This is in our very genetic memory, in our ancestral DNA. But again, generations of dysfunction are being passed down. As a therapist, I was a specialist in generational dysfunction. And I've carried that on with ancestral healing and generational healing in my healing and intuitive work and in my coaching. I talk a lot about a tool, family constellations, which is very powerful. I have a lot of tools that I work with this around. You're carrying generations of dysfunction. You developed all these loyalties that do not serve you, and you agreed to carry them, even unconsciously. And all these hidden money stories, a lot of them go way, way, way back. You'll be able to see how you were being loyal. I found, uncovered, discovered, shifted loyalty stories with my family. generations of women, and I didn't even see it. I wouldn't have been able to say to you, I'm not safe without the tribe. Another one, I'm not prosperous, and there is not enough for everyone. This is one that gets in there with us. We're constantly told this. Remember all the stories that were coming up for people about, do you really need that? Do you really need to have that? You shouldn't want this. Wanting this is wrong. You already have enough. Your life is so good. Why do you always want more? I'll tell you something in case it resonates for you. A lot of my clients, because they're entrepreneurial and they're trying to answer a calling, they get told all the time, why aren't you ever satisfied with what you have? Why do you always want more? And if you were made to feel like that is not a positive character trait, I'm here to tell you it is. You were told, look at all the people that don't have what you have. You're made to feel wrong and shame and guilt. And that can be so powerful and control you. It's played out in a lot of the religious institutions and the churches, but they did it to gain their own power and control and wealth. So there's that. And playing out all these dysfunctional stories and patterns. In truth, you are enough. You are valuable. You are able. You are safe here. And there is a tribe for you. I was hanging out in the wrong tribes, trying to clear, heal, and resolve all my crap until I found those weren't the tribes for me. And it was never going to resolve in a way that was healthy for me. You are prosperous and there is enough for everyone. You having less will never create someone else having more. You having less will never create someone else having more. You can't be broke enough for someone else to have more wealth. You can't be sick enough for someone else to have more well-being. That is not your responsibility. Through these limiting beliefs and these core issues you created, you concluded, I am afraid. And you created so many fears. When I say some of these, you can see if you feel them in your body, just open and hear. I'm afraid of not being able to pay the bills. I'm afraid of leaving my secure job. I am afraid of not doing it right. I am afraid of getting hurt. I am afraid to be visible. I'm afraid of losing it all. I am afraid of having it all. I am afraid of failure. I am afraid of success. I am afraid to show the real me. I'm afraid I can't learn how to do it. I am afraid of what others will think of me, and on and on and on. We're talking about clearing, healing, and resolving these core issues and transforming your life and your results. And you will get down to just one or two core issues that are playing out all the time. They're driving your bus if you're not consciously aware of them and working with them. You allow them to build and grow within you into this giant house of cards. You think, oh, I have so many problems to address, when really it's this one issue. It's the root of all of it, the drama, the disaster, the distractions, the despair. It's all tied up in this. Unravel the core issue. It all comes undone. The house of cards falls. There lies freedom. I see this all the time. People come to me and they're in this state of, I don't even know how you can work with me. I'm such a mess. I don't even know what to focus on in our 90 days or our 6 months together. You won't believe all the problems I have. They think I have so many problems, but there are patterns. And when people see that and see it clearly, they have a big wow. It's working with all of these, the core issues that become the beliefs. Then whatever you say is. And then you build that house of cards. And then that's the place you take action from. That's the place you take action from. Your limiting beliefs are like tendrils coming off that core issue, and you're programmed and you're conditioned. The way through it is action. You've got to get on the other side of the fear. Go back. You can find it on Instagram Live, Facebook Live, and on my Working for Spirit podcast.com. When I talked the other day about the wall and breaking through the wall, and every time you come to the wall's still there until you break through it. And then you turn and it's gone because it was an illusion. Get on the other side of the fear, and that wall will never be there again. Same with these limiting beliefs, same with these issues. Same. Then you start saying, here's my new belief, my empowering belief, my powerful belief, my empowering and powerful money stories. If I believe this, what actions would I take? What actions will I take? I want you to understand this piece too. When you're setting powerful intentions and you're finally making those clear asks, there are intentions and there are counter intentions, and you've got to become aware of them. Start with your intentions. Evoke the emotion, visit them, vision them, send them out into the field. Then that little voice, what are those counter intentions? You've got to catch them, because they already get triggered and they emit brain chemicals. They already have created addictions, and your body knows how to do them, and they will override those intentions going out in the field. And then you'll get back your crap, and you'll start getting back a mix of both. So you want to look at what came back that's a match to what I want, and what came back that's a match to what I don't want. And there's where the work is. Your life, I'm going to tell you this. These are one of those things. I always tell you the things I believe in and stand behind 100%. Your life right now shows you what you believe. I didn't like that one at first either. Your life right now shows you what you believe. Are you willing to take honest inventory? Are you ready to get help if you need it? I do this work with people, and there are many people I've trained that do this work. I have gotten help with this work. I haven't done it on my own. Are you willing to see that your life right now shows you what you believe? Here's another one, and this is key in my community. So if it hits you, it hits you. I came to a place where I had to realize I was first in the church. I grew up Methodist. I even served in the church for years as an adult. I was in the pulpit preaching. I was teaching. Then I finally, Spirit said, part of my being in the wrong tribe and playing out my, they don't want what I have. That's a whole nother big story. I went out in the community, and my business started as a local healing center. But here's what I saw, because then I moved into spirituality, a lot of the new age, the metaphysical, and now I've got my own blend of true spirituality. I even have spiritualist beliefs, spiritualist that is identified with the spiritualist church and spiritualism. I talk some about Lilydale and working and living in Lilydale part of the time. All of these are stories that you listen to my podcast and you show up in my world, you'll know more about. People in my world and my community are always saying they believe in an infinite and abundant universe. This is what I'm going to close with today. I'm going to leave you with this, and I invite you to sit with it. They believe in an infinite and abundant universe. They read all the books, they listen to spiritual teachers, they've got their Audible on, they're writing in their journals, they're doing all the things. I believe in an infinite and abundant universe. Does your life reflect it? Does your life reflect it? Let that land. Your life right now shows you what you believe. It's going to be a mix, and you're the only one to judge what's showing up that you want and what's showing up that you don't want. There's no judgment from anyone else. You are a powerful co-creator with the universe, with spirit. So if you do believe and say you believe in an infinite and abundant universe, does your life reflect it? You can flip the script. You can co-create consciously with spirit, with source, in the field with your capital S self. And that's why I'm here. And that's why I'm doing Drop Your Money Story. If you go to workingforspiritpodcast.com, you'll see that in February, I did a manifesting 5-day free training series. That's there in full for you as well. You'll also be able to find it on Instagram Live and Facebook Live. That's where I talked about your part and the universe's part. Now this series, and I still have one more day tomorrow, day 5, discover, shift, act, believe, and create, is all about money stories. That title, I didn't come by it easily or quickly, but I'm willing to share with you all of it. Drop your money story and fund the life of your dreams. I can stand by that promise. I can live that promise, and I want it for you because it brings money freedom, time freedom, financial freedom, and above all else for me, spiritual freedom to live the spiritual journey of my dreams. You could also say to live the personal journey of my dreams. I don't want money making the decisions for me. I turn this into a way of living and a way of being. I'm going to leave you with that today. I'm so thrilled you've been here. You can connect with me on Instagram, Facebook. You can send me a private message. Go to my workingforspiritpodcast.com, where you'll find lots more of these teachings and trainings. And if you want to see my next free training series for May, go to metaphysicalupgrade.com, metaphysicalupgrade.com. I just posted it for you. Sign up and be ready for May. We are going to dive in full on. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Talk to you again soon. Bye.